Okay, well, I'll see if I can get through this one without crying. I just finished this. This is called My Longest Love Poem. Wellbutrin works wonders for your ADHD, but you call me Well Gibson because I make you happy. I make you happy. Is there anything left to do in this life, my love? I don't think so. Once you drew a line on the doorframe when you grew to understand me better. The same day I wrote you a poem in a patch of light the sun had left on our wall. An hour later, the light was gone, but the poem remained a whisper in the shadows, just like you and I after the stage lights alone in our hotel bed, whispering our favorite lines from all the poems that fell out of strangers' mouths by accident when they were just saying hello after the show. I can't tour anymore without you. Something about how you look driving my minivan, it's so flirtatious how you literally hit on every curb. The fender is duct taped together in 3 places now, I don't mind. Why try to look like I'm not a fixer-upper when I wouldn't want to be anything else? I need a minivan because 3 dogs are not enough, and I'm making space for the next one you find, which we both know you will find because I pull over when I see a stray dog, but you pull over, learn parkour, scale a building, and pole vault between rooftops, returning with another furry bundle, freckling you in fleas. Our dogs are barnacles, and I'm a sturdy canoe. But you're the dreamboat they cling to all night long, even the wild one who's no longer here. We see her ghost on the same days, prancing through our hallways, bragging about how good she has it, how her coffin was a cocoon and now she's a butterfly in God's belly. I'll never forget how you held her when you let her go without letting her go. How you clutched her to your chest the whole ride home, then buried her in our garden with your own bare hands. I know it still hurts, but I hope it's okay that I say it brings me so much comfort to watch her grow. You're the best mother in the world, I suspect, because you learned how to do it by watching yours. That woman worships you so completely. It's as if she's Mary and you're a Jewish baby Jesus with biblical breasts. The last time we visited your childhood home, I took a photograph of the front door, your address, your lucky number. What a coincidence. I only get lucky when you're around. Especially when you plan to do yoga, but end up filming yourself dancing to Beyonce instead. Your hips, my favorite film festival. Baby, watch this, watch this, watch this, you say. Because you are the champion of overdoing things. 2 weeks locked in our basement, wrapping Christmas gifts 12 hours a day, our closets spilling over with secondhand wrapping paper you've collected from every gift you've been given for 7 years. You want neon signs on everything. You put so many pillows on the couch, I have to sit on the floor, which is to say, you ground me. For a while, I thought you were enlightened until we figured out you have an actual condition where you don't know how to worry. I'm still not convinced there's a difference, but just in case, I hope it's okay if I keep trying to turn you woo-woo. I just trust peace is a telephone through which you will always be able to reach me, and I'll always need you to reach me. You know how lonely I get when you fall asleep before I do, and you always fall asleep before I do. I'm up all night watching space documentaries and YouTube videos about how to survive in the wilderness with nothing but an axe and a handsaw and your lipstick on my temple. Thank you for following me everywhere I go. I don't mind that it's only to put lids on everything. What can I say? I'm an open person. So are you. You don't just see people at their best, you see people at the best they haven't been yet, which is why you loved me long before I loved myself. Thank goodness I figured that out. Beating yourself up is never a fair fight, wrote your favorite poet once. Those gloves fit no one right, and you always deserved a me who didn't have to squint through bruised eyes to see you clearly. Right now, I am watching you outside the window, sunbathing topless in the snow, smelling like the same tanning lotion my mother wore when I was just a kid, and she was just a mom who had no idea I'd grow up to find such a pretty man of the house. But of course, she loves you. Who couldn't? You pole dance on the tractor, mow our lawn in a bikini, roll out a red carpet to escort the mice back to the pasture, teach spiders how to weave their webs outside, and the ants, you slaughter with every weapon you can find, but I forgive you because you forgive everyone so easily. Watching you do it is like watching paint dry. There's nothing to see. Everything is just more colorful after. Something I never told you about the day you sold your reliable Toyota for an old convertible so you could drive me around town so I could be in the world when I was too sick to be in the world. It mattered more than you knew, because I could not stop thinking about the fact that you bought a car that wasn't safe to leave the state, the steering wheel shining like a ring on your hand, a promise to stay through all of my breakdowns. I have promised that too. I promised to go the distance. This morning, while I was trying to figure out what kind of fish everyone in our family would be, I asked you what you thought you were, and you said very seriously, hold up, let me Google the sexiest fish. No, wait, the most beautiful fish. Oh, look, there's an angelfish. I am the angelfish. It stuns me sometimes how well you know who you are in spite of the poison in the sea that has everyone else drowning, an idea that their beautiful selves aren't worthy. Self-hate is an environmental crisis, and you might single-handedly save the world, my love. You're even energy efficient, or you try really hard to be. I estimate you've spent at least 387 hours in just the last 2 years searching for sneakers you don't have to tie because it takes you too much time to tie laces. My silver-haired beauty in Velcro shoes. There is no one like you anywhere. You mind your own business. You change your mind as often as you need to, and you never lie, which irritates me because you also edit my poems. Can't keep that look off your face when I use adverbs, baby. How on earth do you expect me to not write the word beautifully while you're sitting beside me? But beautifully doesn't bug you as much as honestly, which I honestly begin half my sentences with, and you're worried that suggests the other half of what I say is a lie. But here's what I figured out today. I am a liar. I lie all the time. Remember the other day when I said we will all have to say goodbye sometime? That wasn't true. Saul Williams was right when he said only believers in death will die. Baby, I have never loved you more than I did when you asked Liza how it felt to know she would be leaving the world in just a few days. I wanted to know so badly, but I was afraid to ask. She was so grateful you did. How could I ever fear anything after hearing what she said? I think everything about you is a gift, but it wasn't always like this, was it? There were many months we were more flammable than Instagrammable, but we were creative about it. Spent an entire summer arguing via badminton so we could drive the birdie of blame at each other's skulls. I was gonna leave that out of this, but this isn't only for us. It's for everyone we can convince not to wait for a tragedy, to stop calling it 0-0 when it could so easily be called love, serving love. I had no idea how much would change when all that mattered became all that mattered. These days, our biggest arguments happen on our daily walks to the lake. I always want to walk back the same way, which you don't enjoy. I like to circle, you say. We can't agree because I want to do it all again. See it from another angle, the back of the coffee line where you didn't know me but told me I was ordering the wrong drink, the back of my hand where I first wrote your name so I could remember your birthday when we were still friends, the back of your arms where you tattooed the longitude and latitude of where we first danced, the birds flying backwards back to the cold, just like you racing home from your lunch in the sun when I called to tell you the doctor had spotted something on the CAT scan. When I call cancer the big C, you are the only one who knows. I mean, the big ocean where we met our own Titanic and didn't sink. You even convinced me it was a good idea for us to dress up as Jack and Rose on Halloween, though my baldness was in no position to pass up an opportunity to wear a wig. I was a bit nervous to play the part of the guy who dies, but I wasn't really Jack, was I, baby? I was Rose, and your heart was the door that opened so wide it tore off its hinges and kept me afloat. Some days you even managed to convince me that letting you take care of me was a kind of chivalry. It was so badass of me to puke in front of you when I had no hair for you to hold back. What can I say? I'm finally tough enough to let someone see me on the inside. Thank you for knowing you had to be the one to tell me what they found when I woke up from surgery. Anyone who thinks poetry is frivolous has never needed someone to tell them something unspeakably hard, beautifully. My guardian angel, my guardian angelfish. Do you know that happened a year after our camping trip where we blew up our bed and carried it to the water, floated on our backs in the middle of that rocky mountain lake, cupped in the palm of infinity? You and I will never ever leave that place, just like I will never finish writing one of my longest love poems. Actually, it's like 10 minutes longer than any other one, for which this is only the prologue, baby. I've barely begun.